Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. The subject this morning, murder by numbers. Yesterday, May 23rd, 2017, two big celebrity deaths in the headlines. Roger Moore, the former James Bond actor, and also Cortez Kennedy, the retired NFL player. Later in the same day, there were two more headlines about celebrity deaths announced. Dina Merrill, former actress, thought to be one of the most beautiful women of her time. She passed at the age of 93, which is a long age to live to, but I'm going to show you what's so suspicious about the date she died. If you saw my work yesterday on Roger Moore and Cortez Kennedy, it follows the exact same pattern we discussed. Also announced yesterday, the death of Lisa Spoonauer, the actress from Clerks, the Kevin Smith film, which came out 23 years ago. Her boyfriend's name in the film is Dante, which in the language of gematria sums to 44, like kill, and she died at that suspicious age of 44. We're going to talk about how her death syncs up with Kevin Smith, who produced that film. And just earlier this month, Kevin Smith was connected to the death of Michael Parks, older Hollywood actor. And we're going to talk about the parallel there. I'll mention something interesting about the passing of Powers Boothe also just days ago, May 14th. A lot of suspicious celebrity deaths this month. And again, we'll get to why May 23rd had 4 celebrity deaths in the headlines, all by the same numbers. It's not coincidental. It has everything to do with time and the relationship between the sun and the earth, which we will again review. We'll even talk about this comment regarding Jack Kerouac, who died at age 47 and had one of his favorite bars burned down 74 days after the anniversary of his birthday. But if you missed my work on Roger Moore yesterday, Roger Moore died 144 days from his birthday, and 144 is a very special number. It is a number that represents time in more ways than one. In the language of gematria, time equals 144. Every single day there's 1,440 minutes, 1440. The square root of 144 is 12. 12 months, 12 hours in the morning, in the evening. If you know what the Fibonacci sequence is, said to be God's mathematical spiral, or connected to it, phi, the 12th Fibonacci number happens to be 144. So very special number, and in the time I've been doing this work on rituals and numbers, including murder by numbers, we've talked about people dying 144 days from their birthday hundreds of times. You know, just yesterday we talked about it. Both times we talked about the deaths of celebrities. Then another person's announced, and we're talking about it again. So, Roger Moore dead 144 days from his birthday. I did at least 2 videos. I might have done 3 videos on Roger Moore's death yesterday. So many suspicious things. Again, it came the day after the UK Manchester Arena attack, and it came when Ariana Grande was singing the song Dangerous Woman, which just 2 years ago there was an article written about how it was being considered for Bond theme music. So we get this song considered for James Bond theme music. Then the next day, former James Bond actor dead. On May 23rd, a date I've been telling people to look out for more than a year, May 23rd, 2017. So Roger Moore dead 144 days from his birthday. Cortez Kennedy dead in Orlando, Florida, where we see a lot of suspicious deaths. Remember that singer, I think her name was Christina Grimmie, killed in Orlando, Florida after the show? Just one of many, but that was a recent one. Orlando, Florida, gematria of 144, and Cortez Kennedy died 93 days from his birthday. 93 represents Saturn, the keeper of time. To the occult, Saturn is the keeper of time. And again, 144 represents time. So 93 and 144 go hand in hand. And with regards to 93 and the Keeper of Time, I want you to think about how they tell us the sun is 93 million miles away, which is the true Keeper of Time. Please also notice May sun sums to 93. I've been explaining why Freemasonry, which created the calendar system we're on, has put this special tribute in May 23rd. And sadly, it's Freemasons at the top who are also responsible for this murder by numbers code. So for the 6 psychopath Freemasons at the top who've built this world around us, including the calendar and English language, this is a big ritual day for them, May 23rd. And we see 4 celebrities drop dead, as I've been explaining, as is well documented by myself and many others. Hollywood, the elites, it's all masonry. It's all Freemasonry. So anyhow, 93 and 144, these special numbers. Now we're talking about the death of a 93-year-old woman. A 93-year-old woman. Most people would never question it. Notice her last name, Merrill, has the gematria of 42. The other number that represents Saturn also represents Freemason, the month of May. All of these things have gematria of 42. So we're seeing the passing of Merrill at age 93 in the month of May. And her birthday, December 29th, from her 93rd birthday to her death, 144 days. May 22nd. December 29th to May 22nd, 144 days. May 22nd, 2017 was also a date with 44 numerology. The word kill equals 44. If you write out 44, it sums to 144. The word clock, using the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. Clock is 44. Connecting this number to time in one more way. Here she was as a young woman, born into wealth, thought to be one of the most beautiful women in the world, became an actress, lived a long privileged life. But even in the end, her life taken by the numbers. And what I will say, the one thing I have become aware of in the time I've been doing this research is sometimes these things really do work out organically. We study these numbers and how they show up in these ritualistic patterns, and then sometimes we see that exact same pattern show up in our own lives. And it's happened to me, it's happened to others. So I will acknowledge that it's entirely possible that in some of these instances it really is organic. But when we see 4 celebrities in the same day by the same code, and we see what a sick, perverse world we live in, you got to imagine some of these are not natural, especially for the younger people that this happens to. Also, her name, Dina, in Jewish gematria at 54, like sun. We were just talking about Chris Cornell and Black Hole Sun, how it was released on May 4th, 5/4, under the May sun. So many of Chris Cornell's songs about the sun, and he died in accordance with the upcoming total eclipse, the first of its kind in 99 years, coming this August 21st. Before I move on, I also want to give you an update, something I noticed about the death of Cortez Kennedy. Derek, who built the Gematria calculator, he asked me if I knew that Cortez Kennedy wore the number 99. Shoot, I forgot to put the picture here. But look at this. You can look this up. Cortez Kennedy, who we talked about yesterday, he wore 96 his whole career except for one season. In one season, he wore the number 99, and in that year, 1992, got a lot of awards that year, one of his best seasons. In fact, he had his biggest game of his professional career against the New England Patriots, recording 4.5 sacks in a single game. So the year he wore 99, notice how New England equals 99? He recorded 4.5 sacks against New England. Last NFL season, in one of my preview picks, I said why the Seahawks would beat the Patriots because Pete Carroll, the Seahawks coach, was going to get his 99th win all time with a win against the Patriots where he used to coach. And sure enough, he did. Look, Cortez Kennedy died yesterday, May 23rd, a date in the U.S. that we write 5/23. 523 is the 99th prime. And from that 1992 season where he wore 99 to the date he died on May 23rd, that was 25 years later. 25 is a number representing death. And as I explained last NFL season, a lot lined up for the Patriots. It was the 97th season of the NFL, another number connected to death. The name Bill Belichick, the head coach of the Patriots, equals 97. 97 is the 25th prime number. And as I said throughout the season, if the AFC won the Super Bowl, it would be the 25th Super Bowl for the AFC all time. And it would be the 25th playoff win for Tom Brady all time. I wrote game here, that's a typo. It should say win. Tom Brady got his 25th playoff win in Super Bowl 51. It was also his 51st career game-winning drive at the end, comeback drive. All scripted his entire career ever since September 11th and the Patriot Act. But also the Super Bowl was on 2/5, kind of like 25 to conclude the 97th season of the NFL. 97, 25th prime. You see, 25th Super Bowl for the AFC, 25th playoff win for Tom Brady. It was Tom Brady's 34th playoff game all time, and he won with 34 points. Falcons equals 25 and 34. 25-point comeback from 28-3 when Lady Gaga, born 28/3, March 28th, was the halftime performer. When Tom Brady came back from his Deflategate suspension against Cleveland and won with 33 points, Cleveland 33. That same night, The Simpsons had season 28, episode 3, 28-3, like the comeback. Anyway, if you missed all my work on that, I showed how the death of Carol Brady, Florence Henderson from the Brady Bunch, I showed how her death signified the Patriots would win the Super Bowl. The point I'm trying to make right now is Cortez Kennedy's death, it's also a ritual for the Super Bowl that just passed, and I missed that in yesterday's video. Again, Cortez Kennedy died May 23rd, most commonly written 23/5, and he was born August 23rd, the 235th day of the year. Again, it's all about 23.5, the degrees on the Freemason compas's legs, and also the degrees of the tropics, which measure time. The solstices of this earth, 23.5 degrees north, 23.5 degrees south. That's where the tropics are that measure the solstices, which measure winter and spring for the respective hemispheres. Also, with this Patriots-Seahawks tribute and the death of Cortez Kennedy, don't forget that they met in Super Bowl 49. He died just before his 49th birthday. And when the Seahawks and Patriots played in Super Bowl 49, both of their records were 14-4. And they met in Glendale, Arizona on the 33rd parallel. And you know what else? Arizona has gematria of 84, the reflection of 48. Him passing at age 48. We talked about how Seahawks equals 48. Anyhow, I put out a video on this. There's a whole lot more to it, but just wanted to cover what I missed for those who watch all of my videos. So, we've covered those. Let's now talk about the Clerks actress death at age 44. Again, when you write out 44, it sums to 144. She died 23 years after the 94 film released. Clerks equals 23. Well, I get a lot of trolling and they say, you're like that weirdo in the movie The Number 23. It's just so sad how the people who do this, again, the people who are responsible for this are the same people who run the entertainment industry, from Hollywood to music recording to the sports leagues to your government to your money. It's all the same gang. People call them the Illuminati. It's Freemasonry in high places. They put out these movies like The Number 23 to make the truth look crazy. And then people watch these movies and then, you know, it's already been programmed that that's craziness. That film, The Number 23, starts with a dog named Ned. N's the 14th letter, E's the 5th, D's the 4th. 14 plus 5 plus 4, 23. You know, they're mocking you. Anyhow, This girl dead 23 years after Clerks releases. The news of her death came yesterday, May 23rd, but she died May 20th. We're going to talk about why that matters. Something very interesting. It came yesterday, May 23rd. We just talked about how 523 is the 99th prime number. Notice how when you write out 44, it also sums to 99. And think about how you can write 4 by closing the top or leaving it open. If you leave it open, if you close it, it looks kind of like a 9. Remember when you were a child and you were learning to write? Sometimes your 4s look like 9s. I think it's really interesting that they have this relationship in gematria. But anyhow, she's dead at 44. Her boyfriend, Dante. If you learn the alphabetic order, you can learn all the gematria methods I teach because they're all based off the alphabetic order. D's the 4th letter, A's the 1st, N's the 14th, T's the 20th, E's the 5th. I'm telling you, you go through the alphabetic order, you write it out a few times, it's going to stick in your mind. For those of you who think you can't learn this, write. Sometimes to learn something, you have to do it multiple ways with your body. You got to write it out. You got to say it out loud. You got to practice it. But you just do it a little bit, and then you just learn it. And then it's just stuck in there like riding a bicycle. I know the alphabetic order forwards and back just from, practicing. And I've been doing it for a long time now, but once I started, I learned it really quick, and it's always been there. Anyway, Dante, if you add it up with the alphabetic order, 44. That was her boyfriend in Clerks. She was Dante's girlfriend. Dante, one of the main characters. And, let's just for kicks, let's look at her name. Caitlin Bree. It reminds me of Bruce Jenner already, but I could have done more homework on this. There might be more here. Caitlin Bree, 199, the 46th prime, having to do with sacrifice. Let's see. Yeah, I see things there, but 73 is also a number of sacrifice. Anyhow, let's stick to what's most stand out about this because there's something that's really important here. Lisa Spoonauer, dead at 44. Kevin Smith called her one of the most important people he'd ever met. Kevin Smith's been saying nice things about these people who've died in connection to him. I'm going to show you what's so disturbing about this. So first, the name Lisa Spoonauer has almost the same gematria as Scottish Rite. You see this? The only difference is in reverse ordinal. And what I've been explaining way before May 23rd rolled around is that on the Gregorian calendar, May 23rd is the biggest tribute to Freemasonry. And the calendar was built by the Freemasons within the Jesuit order of the Catholic Church. May 23rd is the 143rd day of the year. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 143. In leap years, it's the 144th day of the year. Having to do with time. But anyhow, here's the Freemason compass, 23.5 degrees, just like the tropics. And all of this comes back to time and our relation to it. So her name, just like Scottish Rite, symbol of Freemasonry, Scottish Rite. Her name, Lisa, 67. 67, number of blood sacrifice. We see it in rituals all the time. 47, the number representing time. 119, representing the all-seeing eye. Her name, crucial numbers. The date she died was a date with 42 numerology, the word Freemason 42, but we didn't hear about her death until May 23rd. It became news yesterday. Roger Moore, dead yesterday. Remember the Moors and the Masons. I talked about this yesterday. Roger Moore on this Masonic date, the Moors, the history of the Masons. Also, they're blaming the terrorist attack on someone from Libya, North Africa, where the Moors are from. You see? And again, the concert attack, all staged, all propaganda, all part of the ritual. We're living out rituals, planned events, planned murders, planned terrorist attacks, all by the same people. That's why that guy, if you missed my work on the crash in Times Square last week, you better check it out. They said that the hero was wearing a Planet Hollywood t-shirt. Wake up, people. It's because The powers that shouldn't be, they're running the world like it's Hollywood. Our news is made for TV, movies, infotainment. Meant to keep you frightened and looking to Big Brother. Anyhow, May 20th, the date of death. May 23rd, the announcement. The date she died, a date with the 42 numerology, Freemason 42, May 42, Zionism 42, Kevin Smith, no doubt a Zionist Jew. And one of the very perverted ones. I've talked about how in some Masonic lodges, they have rituals with the goat. And they'll ride the goat and who knows what else. But in some Masonic lodges, and plug your ears if you don't want to hear this, in some Masonic lodges, they really do fuck goats. And Kevin Smith has shown this in his films. The most recent Clerks movie that came out earlier in the 2000s, there's a goat fucking scene. And this is all Freemasonry. And humor about, the sick things that really are going on in this world. So anyway, Kevin Smith, notice his birth numerology, 99. The United States of America, 99. 13 equals 99. 13 stripes, 13 colonies. The Bavarian Illuminati established with 13 families on a date with 99 numerology in May 1st, 1776, right before the American Revolution. So this girl, she died 74 days before his upcoming 47th birthday. Notice he is 46. He's going to turn 47. The Zionist Nation of Israel, established in 47. 74 days before his 47th birthday. What are the odds? Masonic 74, Jewish 74, killing 74, occult 74, gematria 74, English 74, holiday 74, Independence Day 74. The name Kevin is also 74. I keep telling people to make the memes about murder by numbers and celebrities being killed 74 days from the person that they're connected to. How many times have I shown this on this channel? Even more times than I've shown the thing about 93 and 144. If anyone were to go through all of my videos and watch everything about murder by numbers that I've done, that could be, maybe that's what I should do. I'm about to put out a book. It's the introductory book to get people's feet wet on all these topics. But really, I should take the time to go through all of my work on murder by numbers and just make the book that would be, so thick you couldn't get it on any camera lens. Because this has been going on so many times. You got musicians like Sting singing about murder by numbers and how easy it is to do and how you do it to maintain your status in your profession. Then you see all these celebrities dropping dead in connection to other celebrities. And of course what a scumbag would do is put out all these nice messages about how great these people are, knowing that they were murdered to maintain their own career. And who needs Kevin Smith? So many people like Kevin Smith and think he's got great humor and his movies are clever. Clerks at the time was something different. So I understand why people like Clerks, but his gig is Jew humor. And what Jews are fascinated with is perversion. Fucking people in the ass, sucking dicks. That's all of his movies are about. Ass fucking and homosexuality. Kevin Smith's been ahead of the Hollywood curve. Now you can't turn on the TV, watch a sitcom, watch a movie without some sort of gay humor. You take a child. I had to take a friend of a friend's children out to the movies a while back. I can't remember what we saw, but just right away there was just this little gay type of thing in the beginning. I thought, my God, the kids might subliminally get it, but they're too young. But it's just like everything right now is just saturated with homosexuality. You can't say it's not an agenda because it's the biggest agenda there ever was. But Kevin Smith has been one of the ringleaders in this. And the point is, I'm just saying, people are being murdered to maintain Kevin Smith's career. Does this guy need a career? What's he have now, this podcast, Babylon? This guy's not even funny. Not even funny. These Jews, they make me sick. So here was another celebrity that just dropped dead in May, and Kevin Smith, who's worked with him, had the tweets then, oh, greatest actor ever. Here's what's so interesting. This guy died May 9th, 5/9, the word kill, 59 in Jewish gematria, and Kevin Smith has that name gematria as well. It's also a number connected to Freemasonry. He was 77 years old, this man, when he dropped dead. Michael Parks. Theater equals 77. Judaism 77. Zionist 77. Power 77. United States 77. Remember, Ford's Theater on the 77th Meridian, Washington, D.C., closed in 77. That's where Lincoln was assassinated. And think about our history. Lincoln assassinated in a theater by an actor. He was watching a play about a character named Honest Asa. Honest Abe was killed watching a play about Honest Asa. Look it up. This is our history. All given to us by Jews. That's the truth. The Jews have always controlled the information. They control all your media. They control all your publishing companies. You get to know what they want you to know. Read their Talmud. They're here to rule over us, maintain us, and use us like cattle so that they don't have to work. That's why we live in a nation where there's an investor class that doesn't have to pay taxes, and there's a bunch of poor working slaves who don't get paid shit, and the first person who sees any of their income is always the government, because it's always taken right away. Unless you work for cash, which I recommend most people do, and finding two middle ones for the big brother. So here's another recent death. Powers Boothe at 68, just before his 69th birthday. Caskets go 6 feet deep, 8 feet long. The Wikipedia, always understand Wikipedia is run by Masonry and the Zionist Jews, 100%, Wikipedia. It's amazing how well Wikipedia is controlled. I don't know how many people they have working for that website, but if you edit something there, man, they'll switch it back so fast. Multiple people have tried to make me a Wikipedia page, and it's been deleted every single time. Every single time Wikipedia says that I'm an irrelevant person. I don't need a Wikipedia page. Multiple people have tried to do that for me now, just to get more information out there. And Wikipedia will not let a Wikipedia page about me exist. Honestly, you should see some of the people that have Wikipedia pages. People that have done absolutely nothing for the world. It's just like, who even cares? Including all these celebrities. What do? Make worthless movies? Waste our time? Hey, if you don't know who you're looking at the person who cracked the code in this world, literally. The code that mattered. The code that showed how news was fake and scripted. See, I always knew it was fake bullshit meant to scare you, deceive you, but I actually figured out how it was scripted. With proof, evidence. Same way I've proven this murder by numbers code, rigged sports code, etc., etc. How many times in these NBA playoffs have I said what the score of the game will be before the game's played? Did it last night with the 99. Before the playoffs started, I said, watch how often the Warriors win with 106 and 121. They've done it multiple times already. Everything I've talked about continues to come true. Said exactly what the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals will be. All of this stuff, it's all done by the same repetitive code. And, again, I'm saying May 23rd, the most important date on the Gregorian calendar. Around May 23rd, expect some big news, some celebrity deaths. All of it comes true. False flag at a celebrity concert. I'm explaining how the music, the movies, they're all being made to mock us. And then to top it off, they say the first victim at this hoax killing is named Georgina Calendar. Just like Gregorian calendar. And again, Gregorian 58, calendar 58, Pope Francis, Donald Trump. You guys, today, May 24th, is the 144th day of the year. Jesuit order equals 144. Donald Trump at the Vatican with Pope Francis. They're both Jesuits on the 144th day of the year. Here's what else you need to know. Society of Jesus 187. Again, Donald Trump and the Pope's birthdays are 187 days apart, June 14th to December 17th. Where Washington, D.C. is, the Catholic colony it was once called. Now it's D.C.'s between Virginia and Maryland. They worship the Virgin Mary in the Catholic Church. Remember, Washington, D.C.'s 187, George Washington 187, ancient accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry 187. This year, Trump had his GOP convention on July 18th. That's when it began, 18/7, 187 days before Inauguration Day. Everything that you see in this world is ritual. And I forgot to make this point about Powers Boothe, but I'm glad I came back here in light of talking about that. This picture that Wikipedia has chosen for him, you see how they got him wearing red and black and white? Doesn't this remind you of the Catholics? It's like they chose this for a reason. Plus, it's from the date March 22nd. It's for Sin City, which equals 99, like the United States of America, like 13. In light of this picture that they have chosen for him, and the fact that he died on May 14th, which is 14/5 in most parts, I find it interesting how Catholics 145. You know? The Catholic Church, a major part of this Masonic order. Maybe having more power and influence than any other sect. A lot of murder by numbers with the Catholic Church. Also, somebody pointed this out. Look at this. Clearly Canadian, the company, the brand came back. It equals 93. Earlier this year, I said why I expect a Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup this year. A Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup since 1993. Think about that. It's a really long drought. Not since 93. Right now, the only Canadian team that still has a chance are the Ottawa Senators, who were reestablished in 1993, the last year Canada won. And remember, from 93 to 2017 is 24 years, and Canada equals 24. Just like the sun equals 24. 24 hours in a day, dictated by the sun, 93 million miles away. And again, Stanley is also 93. The Stanley Cup. Canada hasn't won it since 93. Can the Ottawa Senators do it? Right now the Stanley Cup's going to be Nashville versus either the Ottawa Senators or the Pittsburgh Penguins, who won it last year. My dad, who loves sports, just can't get over him like most American men. He thinks Nashville's definitely going to win this year. But I've been saying, I don't know. I think it's going to be a Canadian team. All right, truth seeker. Until next time.